Welcome to the program. My name is Abman Kota, and you are watching the Tpn TV and Radio Network. Let me just make sure the people the radio then they listen me. All right. Welcome back to the program. My name is Abman Kota, and you are watching the Tpn TV and Radio Network. We get a very interesting discussion today, where we get for deal with the Sierra Leone teachers, where then demand saying if the government no meets then demands, then they go on strike. And we don't know what's in the situation on that, but they come with the president of the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, because there's a friction between the teachers and this institution. The teachers union, the teachers then say the teachers union do not represent them at all, because an institution where no they seek the interest of the teachers them. I don't know what thing they happen, but if I remember a couple of years back, I think about a year ago, over a year ago, 2 years ago to be specific, that was in 2017, late 2017. I bring Mr. MS Bangura, when the president of the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, and at this program where we can discuss a lot of things. Then at that time, there were also other strike where been they go on at the country by teachers them, and we bring Mr. MS Bangura. Mr. MS Bangura tell us him. Well, then they pan in negotiation with the government, and during that discussion, we get some kind of a feeling that it seems like the SLTU, the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, now seems to look for the interest of the teachers them. And today I get for bring Mr. MS Bangura back now this program here for make we can know whether there is any kind of a collaboration or coordination with the teachers, because the friction way there between the teachers them and the union is very wide. So would they bring Mr. MS Bangura for make he can tell we waiting the situation between Ion institution where the SLTU where it the head and the Sierra Leone teachers them way then they in a class, then they teach people picking them where this institution actually represent. In the next 20 minutes, Mr. MS Bangura get for come now the program for make we can ask us certain questions them. But here is the thing where I want to talk about before that happen. There are certain demands the way the teachers them they put out to the government, where probably it would be very difficult for make the government go able to meet some of them demands then but the government need for negotiate definitely with the teachers them, because those are the people where they make the next future leaders of that country. Teachers are very important in any country, so the need for negotiate. But some of the things then where the teachers then demand, I don't know whether it would be reasonable for the teachers then for able to get them in. For example, the teachers then talk say in 1996 the government of the late President Ahmed Tijan Kaba been agree say then get for look at documents where then gazette where they all agree with Parliament for say then they meet some of the demands them the way the teachers then they ask now. That is about 22 years ago. One of them demands then there is every teacher where gets speaking supposed to get an apartment, and I don't know whether any government go able do them in the teachers then for give them free apartment. That's an office it get for happen at all. In my own opinion, I don't know yet, but I therefore can talk to Mr. MS Bangura and see what in your take on that. But I don't know yet. We get over 5,000 teachers in the country. I think it's over that. Like in the country, the teachers the way then they pay. It's over 5,000, maybe way more than 5,000. Well, if we say any teacher is supposed to get an apartment, the one way get picking them, the one way single, it gets other amenities them. I don't know how that get for happen. I don't know how the government get for get their apartments and they also then get for pull their apartment and they, especially now at a time when the government is struggling very hard economically for make them able to sustain, even for pay the teachers then. Now the payment is a big problem. Now the teachers then want for make them add other amenities the way the government mean does sign up to. Well, if you get any question or things the way you want for say, hey, then at the number that one day where you they call for make you able to ask the question and let we see waiting at the debates, you know. But the Mr. MS Bangura get for calm that the program for make he can talk to you about this issue. There's another strike where they go on where now the doctors, you know, the doctors themselves them they pan the strike now where they mean demand certain, you know, upgrades of them benefits them. They're not able compromise with the government, and therefore they are on strike right now. And the government they try for 13 say if the doctors there and they no one for work, them the government they go bring foreign doctors them for make them can work in the country. I don't know how feasible that's also would be, and I don't know whether it even makes sense. If I remember, before the strike of the doctors them, I come out with an audio where I urge the government for make negotiate with the doctors them, because to be honest with you, the doctors them their salary is just too small, way too small. 3 million a month. That's too small. 3 million a month. It's about very close to $400 or something like that. So some of them think so some of them think they're very you know, the government need for negotiate with this, both the doctors them and the teachers them, for make them find a way how they go able for, you know, compromise and see if they go able to raise you know, the benefits of the teachers here and the doctors them. As I say, in the next 10 minutes, Mr. MS Bangura, when under the president of SLTU, Sierra Leone Teachers Union, they kind of the program for make we can ask a question, because like I said earlier, there is a friction where we see between the teachers them and the SLTU. Some teachers they claim say the SLTU not represent them at all. Well, if the SLTU not represent the teachers, then what is the SLTU? These are the questions that we'll get for ask Mr. MS Bangura. And Mr. MS Bangura hopefully will able to tell you exactly what are the problems then we then get with the teachers them. Because if you are the representative of the teachers them, then the teachers then say you not represent them because of certain things the way they do, then there is a problem there. That's the reason this will want for bring this man for make you can talk to him. And back to the doctors them, you know, the government gets a lot of things for do, and this na in the reality for any government. You know, when you at the opposition, most of the time you don't know what in the government they go through. You promise so many things then, but when you come na the power, you can't see exactly the weak economy where Sierra Leone gets. You find yourself in a very difficult situation. You know, now in the SLPP government right now don't find themselves because number one, I don't see much from the revenue the way the SLPP they do, the SLPP government they use for you know, manage the affairs of the country. You know, if they get $3 million a month, is it a month? Yeah, $3 million a month, I think so. Well, that's a lot of money, but not enough, considering you know, the things the way the government's supposed to do, you know, not enough at all. So now, the first thing way the SLPP governments, the first mistakes we then do, as then council no more, then raise the salaries of the ministers. Well, when you start doing that, then other people then say, well, what about me? What about me? What about me? Now, this have been the try for talk and on one of me audios, then where I've been tell the SLPP government say, hey, na so na whole una dey dig una self so, because there are so many things there. So there are so many people that were not satisfied with the conditions they would the living conditions they would na that country there. When you come as a government, the first thing what you get for do, waiting are the things that what you supposed for do. Is it necessary for raise the salaries of government officials first, or try for make sure say you get a hold of the flow of revenue? Will you know say at least you able take care of all the necessary things the way a government supposed for do? Then if there is any kind of you know, a leftover, at the time that one day way you think of you know, raising the salaries of the government officials. But as you come, you raise them to 20 million. I know say the government officials then salary they just too small. No doubt about that. That is too small. But what happened when you don't have the money and you raise salaries? This na my argument where I've been arguing before. And now, not only the government's officials and salary they don't raise some. Now the teachers themselves and say they need raise, and they also need some of the amenities the way they been promised them 20 years ago by Tijan Kaba. And the doctors then come back say, well, we now one of the fabric of the society, so therefore we you know go fine for let we self deal in a kind of situation. We need a raise. We need the government for make do something about us. What other departments will get for can next for can you know, for can strike, for can demand for some of them here? I don't know. But the government need for find a way for try to resolve some of them problems here before it's too late. Because at the end of the day, you know, if Pekin and another go school, it affects the free education self way the government supposed they try for do. It affects that free education there. You know. And I know they talk about the teachers them. You know. So I just want to remind the people the way they watch we right now, the one the way they listen at the radio, for say the Sierra Leone Teachers Union President, Mr. MS Bangura, they get for Canada program in the next five minutes or so for make we talk to them about these issues. Yesterday when I talked to them, he said the strike not started. David, could I do mute your phone? David, call?
Yeah.
They are mute your phone. You did sleep or waiting? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so these are some of the things that we talk about, you know. Waiting at the implication when you as a new government just come in as you can't no more, the first way you do now for raise salaries of government officials. You open up an entire you know, doorway you know go know what's in the inside that door day, you know. And you know, some of we the people that they talk the most say now we are the opposition, but some of we most of the things that they talk, whether na APC or SLPP, it can't for be true. When this thing happen, I'd come out and say this is not a big problem. It's very good for raise the salaries of government officials there because the payment is too small, no doubt about it. But do you get the you know, the mechanism for make sure say something else to the pop up we get for need more attention than raising up the salaries of the government officials? Well, when you look at this, the teachers, the foundation for the free education. Without teachers, there is no free education. They succeed. You know, maybe you could talk about well, even the doctors them, because right now a lot of people there then they die unnecessarily in our hospitals just because the doctors are not there for treat them. This is not a very big test. They are the first biggest test for this government, for the government of President Madabio. This na one of the biggest tests where you don't ever face for this first time here. And based on what he get for how he get for deal with this, now English show say another problem not the pop up again. In any case, the government is in a very tight situation. You know, like I said, you cannot ignore the teachers, because now you dey try to build up a legacy where they call free education, where now it get to be one of the biggest legacy for President Madabio, and this legacy dependent on the teachers them, the cooperation of the teachers them. And now the teachers can say, well, you know what? It's good that you bring free education and the people already pay school fees. Well, una been remember, una been promised we 20 years ago, 22 years ago, una been promised we say, una they do this, una they do that, una they do this. Now we need that, or else we they go on strike. How Alpha Timbo and the others get for deal with this, I have no idea. You know, I don't have any idea. But when they can talk to, let me see if I go able to bring in Mr. MS Bangura. Hold on, let me see. Okay. All right. So this is not the situation where the SLPP government are facing right now. How then they able to make sure say the strike not affect the free education, and at the same time, you know, they punch a hole in this weak economy where they come it so. Well, that's not the test of leadership. Now the test of leadership, because yeah, Mr. Ames Bangura.
Yes.
How they do, sir?
Yeah,
so I've been just trying to talk about well, let me introduce you first, because a lot of some people that know you've been on Canada before, and the one the way they watch you and the one the way they listen at the radio. I just want to introduce you. You know the MS Bangura, the president for Sierra Leone Teachers Union, and you've been on Canada radio. So the reason what make will bring you come is the demand where the teachers that they don't put to the government saying they need them benefit the way they been promised them 1996 and other things them, or else then they go into on a strike. So as the president of the SLTU, what now you you know things that they do for make sure say there is a negotiation between the government and the teachers them.
Well, definitely. Let me just, when you talk about negotiation, the SLTU, the recognized body and the legally constituted body where they negotiate with government. And that process, we don't start them. And as they say, on a Tuesday coming, we get a meeting with the Minister of Education. And the following day, we go for get another meeting where we kickstart the negotiations properly. Because when you talk about negotiations, you know, we just grab one fine money and say, hey, we want this, we want that. You get a process where you follow. And the process, let me just explain to you. From that time, the way they talk about 1996 or during Pakaba time, there is something we call the Teaching Service Trade Group Negotiating Council. We get about 24 people with a chairman, 12 on the side of the employer and 12 on the side of the employee. So now this council get for meet, then negotiate the conditions and salary increase for teachers. And so I think say that one day would only set in place for let that start. But what to make this council not be in the midst for some time is because the chairman will be now being the legal luminary Jenkins Johnson, he did not die, and some other people let me know it. So now we try to get a chairman, we instead of a legally minded person. But the condition is this person will get to be the chairman. Well, not for the stay and say it is from party white or from party black. It will be apolitical, so that at least it will be very objective. It not will be influenced by political party notions, but for the welfare of the teachers of this country. So now that we, as the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, we don't decide for do, and we kickstart that program day on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I think, say, at the end of the day, we're going to do something realistic way the teachers there of this country, they will get for benefit, and anything we will get for arrive at, we'll get for go back to them and consult them, because we all as teachers get for agree. Because when I say we only serve a serving teacher, I mean a principal of the secondary school, I am still serving as a teacher.
So the problem with some of we the outside, just like what I've been talking to you yesterday, is the confusion we will get is there are certain people where they go, when are teachers, then they go to media and they say, well, the SLT you know represent we, so we the negotiate to say how that then we able to succeed with without any kind of a kind of a united front where we get for do for make we able present to demand to the government.
Well, definitely, them people and the way they say so, they're not going to succeed, because they not get a legal mandate, they not get a bargaining certificate, they not get recognition from the government. The only thing they not position, let them go get that kind of popularity. Sometimes we refer it to as cheap popularity, because when you popular without a mandate, it is cheap popularity. But we all call them, follow all come together, because they are our members. Let's all put efforts together so that we will put pressure on government, let we negotiate, we'll get something reasonable for the welfare of the teachers. For let this group come on, me like this, me like that, me like this, I don't think say it makes sense. And it don't make sense in any way. Then they undermine the very essence of the thing way then they talk about. Because if that group they come out, that one they come out, that one they come out, then one day government will take her as an opportunity to say, go and set your house in order before you come and negotiate. You understand? So they self now they try to throw the spanner into the works, and that is not proper. So they advise them, and all the people that we deal with them, let we all come together, for we will put pressure on government so that at the end of the day we'll be able to negotiate and get better results.
And one of the things the way I find out is some of the demands the way some of them guys on the way they go na the media they go and try for say I not feel say they're reasonable. For example, one guy we go now 98.1 Radio Democracy say, well, in 1991 the late President Kaba been promised and say every teacher we get picking get forget an apartment, free apartment, and the one we not get picking he get forget XYZ benefit. You think say those are some of the demands the way as teachers they are supposed to make right now, or there are more reasonable demands the way the teachers then supposed for ask for now? Because
definitely when you talk about a house, that house that way everybody been getting insight for the distant future. Now I make them they give rent allowance or what they call house allowance. And they all depend the salary now who they receive, what they call the composite salary. So all they inside it, but when people just couple a document, they don't know how this document they interpret legally and technically. They can go on the radio talk anything. First, we will understand, we interpret it to the people, then we'll understand. And let me tell you, even with the present disposition for say a teacher get to picking for teacher of farm and so on, I think what is best, just like what you say so, let the teacher get first. Is a living salary we go make it go take care of his family. Yeah. Rather than go talk about this speaking for go school, for go rianda, let the daddy first or the mommy we born the picking them. Let it survive or stay in family. Let them survive conveniently without problem. That's our primordial motive for now for go into negotiation. If you the daddy or the mommy, you will get the family when I know you will get a good salary for let survive. And are the two picking and then they go pay for. So therefore we want salary increase and improve conditions of service. Other conditions they did, we actually will get for advocate for. So now for let us make some demands them over the social media way not realistic. It's a means of getting cheap popularity and so on, and for exploit. The pathetic situation of the teachers. In our we do that. Think I wait in the so that we will become popular. Say, hey, you for do this, we give 21 days notice. While as you don't get no legal mandate, you don't get no base, you don't get no following. But being at the social media, the party talks to. If I said that now, if they go all over to the North Pole and to the South Pole, everybody who are for listening will listen now. So this is the effect. But we, as a constituted and sober-minded leadership of the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, we are going to put realistic conditions. And definitely, I tell you, the government authorities don't begin to see what they ask for, and right now they are prepared. They are prepared. They are coming with various alternatives. And when we go on the negotiating table, I think we will get to pick the best. When we don't pick the best out of those alternatives, we will go back to the membership. Just like what we do. We go to the south, the east, the north, and the west. We consult the teacher. They say that this will not arrive at all with government. What you want to say? I think that's now so a sober-minded leadership for those, and that's what they do always.
So there are before you come at the program, I was talking about certain leverages the way we wanna get in this particular demands that we wanna make. That is the free education, wherein the government. President Madabiono say the free education are one of his biggest legacy, and you're not going to succeed without una the teachers them. Is that an opportunity we una take for make sure say una get what you una supposed to get?
Definitely, if you want free quality education for succeed, the teacher are the ground soldier. You see, for motivator, for and what it takes to make him happy, to make him work, and this now would the request for. Definitely, the teacher get for be happy. When you look at the present situation, teacher being they collect school fees, they collect a lot of other things, then they do lessons, they do that. All that one they don't cut off. You understand? Mm-hmm. And if after year teacher they do now, they take for top up to the salary for let things go before. But eventually they no longer happen, and they longer get more burden. That is more work for perform the duty of executing the success of the free quality education. I think the government not get no alternative but for improve the conditions of service of teachers. This alternative not the Panama. Then get for pull na aid, put na shoulder, or pull na shoulder, put na aid. Any side they sabi pull and they for pull and they then bring account to the teacher their own domain so that they will satisfy the teacher. Government. And then they work the good mathematics. Then go say 2 + 1 is equals to 5. Then get the authority for do that.
So, Mr. Bangura, let me ask you a question, because a lot of we within outside of the country, we don't know exactly how the teachers then they train in terms of salary. What's the average of a teacher, the salary for a teacher in Sierra Leone per month?
Let me tell you, the salary is deplorable for now, considering the cost of living, the standard of living here. For example, TC is around 600,000. 600,000, if you say for calculator to Leone, that's small money. That's small money.
It's less than one. It's less than $100.
It's $100 or 600,000 because now the dollar is about 800, 850, around between 8 to 900. So if they go pay somebody the TC scale 600, 650, 700. I don't think then the one bag there say cost 250, 260, 270, around that. So you will just imagine how it looks like. You see, it's very difficult for the teachers currently in Sierra Leone. The situation is not good.
So let me give people that within the line one opportunity for making them able to ask you a question. Do you guys when I just ask question, not to comment with the comment now. Let me start with David Kwai. David Kwai, what's your question? David Kwai, unmute your phone. All right. As David Kwai, they try for unmute your phone. Let me. David Coy?
Yeah.
Okay, you get any question from Mr. Ames Bangura?
Not for now.
All right. Let me go to Mr. Abdul. Mr. Abdul, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Bangura, thank you for that. The problems of the teacher been only all today. The salary scale where you talk about, is this for primary school teachers or secondary school teachers? And do you think this problem been done all along, also during this government? What would have been done during the past government for remedy the situation like how they ask this government now for help now?
Definitely, this problem is been on, and actually during the past government, when the past government in the salary structure not been to this level, we will also therefore meet government for let government increase the salaries of teachers. So then we talk about what we call the pay package will be for the approaches over the years. So when we started the negotiation, it was very difficult for us to get at anything during the time. So, but for let government go appease the teacher there, don't like who the situation don't do so now. His Excellency been decided to say, okay, now government is fast-tracked or whatever it is, things are not easy. So for the teacher then go na class continue for teaching. He say let them give every teacher for the time being as a stopgap arrangement 100,000 leones to every teacher all over the country, and that money they prepare for 4 months before ever government can get a breathing space for let they able organize, then they introduce the pay package. And I think say that was a good step for the government to be able to pacify the teachers there over a period. And at the time we want for negotiate again for let them before implement the full pay package, now the time that the Ebola come. And so we all know the devastation with the Ebola caused. So presently, I think we are not just coming out for we not just the kind of money for can't commit to this government. No, the difference is now this government take the free quality education, that is education from pre-primary to senior secondary, as a flagship program. That is #1 program for the government. And if that is the case, therefore go all out for let it succeed. And if it succeed, that means now big work for the teacher the way they at the ground way for make that program they succeed. And if you give us plenty work for do, if we also remunerate them, if we until we go make it get the strength for perform the work way again for do.
Mr. Abdul, you get any follow-up before we go to the next person?
No, because the reason why that I don't get really follow-up. I remember the man who was the spokesman and Minister of Education. There was a time we in the right media that that same day where APC been there, probably at the mix them up because maybe it was talking about university professors where be the right say at that time now they can give the highest paid
I think that the university that
in the wobble a little bit.
I think that the university that one na BMT they talk about, now university been they talk about.
Yeah, BMT. Okay, well go ahead and then another question.
Yeah, let me go to Mr. Ahmed Kanu. Ahmed Kanu, you get question?
Yes, my question is that Mr. Bangura, all right, Trade, you talk say them compensate to now 100,000 leones for lead.
Not to compensate, now a stopgap arrangement. Lord just say we na hold this first. Let una not strike, let una not do nothing so that we go able to find something for now we implement the pay package.
All right, very good. You don't correct me on that. I say compensation, it was not. But whatever that done, is stop una from a strike. Now that the Ebola been done, all them TSO been done day, still we can't get new government. Now waiting if you are asked to make recommendations because the past government deal with ghost teachers. we Minister Minkailu been there for deal with, for kind of minimize the corruption so that the teachers then will get a better salary. Now that no be work. Now waiting na your recommendation at this time for the teachers them, especially the challenges them we una face for this quality education. Waiting na your recommendation for them to release some of them.
A recommendation in terms of increase in salary or in terms
increase
of what?
in salary, yes, because the parliament then go express their own concern for increase we don't get. Now we not say get for take that standing.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, we go for take this stand. Well, now the essence of we negotiation, we will get for go engage government. Bread and butter issue. Now we go for an improve conditions, other conditions them. But for now, I not go tell you what they go put before government. I not go put the cat before the horse. You understand? Eh? Yeah.
Are they ready?
Okay.
So I not go tell you now. The only thing we are going to negotiate when we meet government, we'll get certain things that we will get for put before government at the beginning of the negotiation. As things they go on, I think we will give a wider publicity, not to change we get for hide, so that una we dey obayanda we dey obaya all man go know what they go on.
Mr.
Una they work with a union or what? What you know actually they work with for face the government? Una get teachers union?
Well, now the teachers union president they talk to so.
And I mean the president of the teachers union.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that I can't leave small. Now I missed that. Well, you get a big job, and let us wish you all the best. And if you for bring you come back now for sort of empower you, we will want for do that because the teachers their job is very very big.
Big, indeed.
So, Mr.
All them people are beginning from the president. If you not get good teacher, nothing they happen.
Yeah. So, Mr.
In fact, we get a poster. We get a poster na Hotel 510 or na we office. We say if you can read this, thank a teacher.
Yeah. So, Mr. Mr. Ames Bangura, a question. They say when you go for a negotiation, according to conflict resolution, you get forget the carrot and the stick. Let's say, anyway, when I go for the negotiation, what now, in case the negotiation not go the way we want, what I get for do? Is it, are you guys going to go on strike or when I just still continue, or maybe like what you've been talking about that stopgap things that way them in you? If they say okay, you know what, teachers they will now all this for us again for make we think how we able to get the money for implement the demands I wanna make. Is that a feasible way or no? The need for make sure say they meet them demand. If not, now this will they do.
Definitely, the issue. Some people then they call it strike, but me no one call it strike. It's too crude. They call it industrial action. The issue of an industrial action cannot be ruled out when they talk about negotiation and trade union. They negotiate with government because when I get for instance, we na a deadlock situation. Now one of them here make the chairman who get enough for be a politician. For being somehow neutral, at least 70% neutral, so that at the end of the day, he will be able to adjudicate objectively. So, if the government want actually this free quality education for succeed, definitely they will get for adopt measures that we will make. Let we not go back for go tell the teacher they say una sit because this is not a flagship program. They want to let this program let succeed, and we all as Sierra Leoneans, we want to let the free quality education succeed because it will contribute to national development. When we compare the other countries in the sub-region, we are behind. So if a program like this, all for put hands together for let it succeed. So I don't believe say government will create the situation wherein we will have to go and consult our members, and our members give us the mandate, say, let's declare a 21-day notice to government for a sit-down program. You know, I don't expect that. I don't expect that because the government, His Excellency, is really determined for let this program succeed. Any way the president determined for that, I don't say he gets the wherewithal for let that program go succeed. The only thing he get for work out the mathematics. We just they put pressure for let work out the mathematics. Just like what I've been telling now, the head of state in mathematics is different from me and you two. The head of state go able to add 2 + 1 for give you 5. It is possible with the head of state. And this
You don't go to.
we just lost Mr. MS Bangura. Hold on.
Bangura.
Let me see what's in the go on. It seems like yeah, just give me 1 minute. Let me do some process here. I don't know if not the line I ain't good and call, but hold on. Let me bring.
the line.
Yeah, let me bring and come back. Okay. Yeah, as they try for bring and come back. Oh, now they try for call me. So let me turn that off. As we try for bring and come back. We'll continue this discussion because it's very, very important. Okay, hold on. Let me try again. Some of the things that we like we talked earlier before I bring Mr. MS Bangura is the fact that the government don't in a situation we are in a very difficult for make them able to escape the teachers' demand. Maybe they're not. Okay, it seems like. You know, I don't know if in phone get problem with the network. You know, able to wait and call. But I will continue for call them. You know, the government is very difficult for make them able to escape the demands of the teachers. Them. I not believe say. I not believe say able to bring and come back because I did wait and call the phone. They hang up. Okay,
hello?
Okay, don't come back. All right, Mr. MS Bangura, sorry about that. I think that the network. So yeah, yeah. Continue. Sir, you been stopped before we ask you the last question.
So what's gonna be the last question?
So what I've been trying to talk about is let's say the government say okay, let's negotiate. What now you range now they try for put for say okay. Well, we want because when you negotiate, you start from higher, but you get a target way now probably in the middle, right? So what are the range that they look for, considering the fact that the government, the economy is very weak at this time, what are the range that they look for as an increment to their salaries?
Well, when you go into negotiation, you will not set your plan. You plan it will be a hidden agenda. If you get that at the back of your mind,
yeah.
Then if you include also some other issues, then where you the trade off,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they send as bait. You know, I'm not like for top them here, but I don't tell you say we are fully prepared for the negotiation. It's a certain things that we will get for trade off for now achieve the reality we want. But that one they will not get for exposure now. But for expose them, then government will prepare. We'll make a counter prepare where we go at the negotiation table. It will be to your own disadvantage. So it's like you go for a battle. If you don't expose your weapon or your tactics, then the other man will prepare better than what you get.
Yeah, that's not true. So what's not the date when I expect for actually start this negotiation?
We'll get a meeting on Tuesday. We'll get with the minister. We will start all the modalities here. Then the actual council, teaching service trade group negotiating council, will they meet on Wednesday. So that at least we'll go kickstart the whole process. Because this, let me tell you now, even the government authorities, and they themselves know say something has to be done for the teachers. The only thing we just follow the right. We will not go make an like Bobo business, you jump go under, at the end of the day you miss. We will not for this is a national issue, so for well planned, because the politician, where you blunder, they capitalize on the small we make, then throw you out. By the time you go prepare for comeback, you don't get a breathing space made for the attack. So this now, you know, and I make would they plan well. Would they plan well before ever would they meet them?
Okay. Well, sorry about that. So people in the chat for calling. Well, the other thing now, the other question where I want for make you able to answer is okay. Waiting at the way forward for make you as a president bring all them teachers here, the one the way they go na the media they go and talk say well they not represent we. How you get for work very hard as a leader of this union for make you able to bring the teachers there, so we are not they go divided because like you say politicians they exploit weakness and it seems like right now we don't begin exhibit. So how we go able for make sure say we are doing that as you know, a united front.
You see, by that time we will get onto the negotiation, we they go in as a united, because for one thing, the teacher them over this country, they know say the SLCU, then they recognize body and then DBNW. The only thing, among 35,000 teachers, you must get like 10 or 15 who will gang up together, then they go on social media. It creates a lot of havoc. But all the while, we consider they say, now we remember, say, we bring them on board, and we don't meet with them, and we're going to meet with them again, but let the reason, let the step or go over the social media, because by so doing, the politician then go use that one day as a trump card for say, okay, go and put your house in order. Actually, they don't for the whole thing. Them who they fail. We say for them go drag with and who will not go able to achieve what you will get for achieve at the end of the day. So I make they appeal to them where they go and talk to now, as well as the 35,000 teachers them, for let they all solidly unite behind the leadership of the teachers union so that to go negotiate with the government for a successful increase of salary and conditions of service.
All right. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. MS Bangura. We'll monitor this and we'll bring you come back as the negotiation they proceed. And I thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. And
that was MS Bangura Wayne, and the president for the Sierra Leone Teachers Union. They talked to we from Freetown, Sierra Leone. And now let's discuss about this. There are other things we will get for discuss too, because there's another strike where they go on right now with the doctors. Where that one I don't know how it get for end up, but the government gets is you know, then just begin raise salaries for government. If they receive money now, that means they get forget more money. So then increments. Like the problem this way, they said people now don't face themselves. How then we're able to try for come up out of this hole where they don't
so there, you know. So you know, go say because the government increased salary, but they have to be paid and agree for Magboruka Boys School. Now the only true form the way they teach them Magboruka is really responsible for. But I'm not to downplay them or try to criticize them because I value education. Where people they call me for preschool. If I not get to go take over drafts, I said that the guy with the term say no, I want this summer. They say wait for school they pay me. So that's how much I value education. But I hope they will leave everything home. Where the government will be negotiate with them. Well, because this is not a big problem. This problem don't be from Emmanuel Fatoma, Guru Sakatini, those of us who be listening or reading on radio, we really not remember. That's why they were prepared at the time Sakatini, if you recall, because you are not a small boy, say, Mankata, we create one of the system.
Well, Mr. Abdul,
remember?
Yeah, let me interrupt you a little bit. Forgive me for the interruption. But one of the first instance where you bring, it look a little bit different here because the United States, you understand, the federal government not get school. Okay, the federal government not get school at all. All the schools them, especially the government schools them, are run by the states, not so. So it's the state's responsibility, not the federal government. No, compared to Sierra.
They are run. No, they are run by the state. No, Mankata. Google it. They are run by the state, and they are also being financed. Part of the finances come from the federal government.
Yeah, but what are the time for talk? What are the time for talk? The administrative. What are the time for talk? The administrative part of their schools, the non-government schools, then even though the money allocation is coming from the federal government, but the administrative side, whether for increased salary or for decreased salary or for fire for hire, is exclusively in the hands of the states. So, you get 50 states. Each state gets your word and call.
Well, it's not even the state. I think perhaps you are partly right. But my understanding is what we call a school board. The school board decides to hire a school superintendent, and then they hire staff and teachers them, and then they decide the increase pay them, they give them. But you are right that now the state they run them because they are being financed, not made by the federal government and by state taxes collected from owners the way they say that tax money they pay for Arizona, part of it is going to schools. I know it is different here in Sierra Leone. I understand that now government they manage all the schools they have. That's what I'm saying. They forget an open mind, go in there with the concept that they want our brother them, but let not bend too much and always go cry. Let government come back with the openness and fairness to negotiate with them. I give an example. A police officer or a military officer, a bag of phone.
It's Alex say you do a little bit off your phone.
But I go to the next person.
Hello?
Go to the next person.
Okay, yeah, it's Alex say your phone they fluctuate. Okay, let me go to David Kwai. David Kwai, considering what Mr. Abdul talk about, very, very right, because just like what I talked earlier before I bring in Mr. Ades Bangura, you know, some of the demands the way I don't begin from the teachers, it's not reasonable at all for say you can forget a house, an apartment for free. Or, I don't know. I don't really understand. And I think say Mr. Ades Bangura don't clarify that. Say I think the people that way go now social media or now the media they begin to go talk them and they don't understand what's have been the you know the document way then they read so. Go ahead. What's in your think?
Okay. Yeah. Just like Mr. MS Bangura say, most people don't understand about the document. They don't really know the content of what's in that document. They say about the whole thing. Then another thing I look at and say squarely, good number of the people they just try to say that on the basis of political reasons. And but they overrate all the teachers themselves. They just want to take now an advantage over the situation. Because remember Mr. MS Bangura, measure that. So this free quality education where the government don't bring camp, SFPP don't bring camp. Now thing we get for engage the teachers so much and go for block most of the loopholes in terms of corruption, whatever they do, or the boss act there, where they're not going to do it again. Meaning they get for commitments solely to the job what they do. So as a result of that, they just get for raise up, waiting at their own demand or waiting them be fixing at their right to them for the get. According to that paper. So now that's the advantage that they try to take over the situation. So, but my whole point here is we really want to comment on Makota. I hear on the whole program you measure 2 points and say the SFPP government make a blunder where it don't come. One, we then start for raise the pay of government officials. Then we also wouldn't say they're not the loan or whatever, so they don't pay they come from the consolidated fund for pay workers there. So meaning they can't not meet money, so then they work on meagerly on waiting at the money we they get, now then cover. So now a lot of problems don't pop up. Yeah, we go look at that squarely in terms of rational thinking. But if we look into that again, we will give kudos to the SLPP government, because whether they hand strong, they hand not strong. They make a venture in terms of development. You get for make a venture in order for making we will move this, just like this radio program we they carry on. I tell you, say I believe, say you know me, see don't say before they open this radio program pass I get money enough. Everything is small. And sometimes they say one successful venture leads to another. When you don't take this step, it don't make you don't go to this level. So that again will give you another motivation for make you move to another level. Well, the reason why we're happy over the NTR, because the government, I mean, people that in the country, awareness on the day. So anything where the government bring and they look at and say, well, when you do this, you not go left this. So we need to move this again. So they said they take another measure. But I not get any doubt in this government. From waiting we don't see where it don't start first. We believe, say, in terms of negotiation, like where Mr. MS Magua measure, then we're able to tackle most anything here. So we really glad over there. Sorry for I really want to make you know.
Sorry for interrupt you. Right. Let's start with the statement where I gave earlier, where I say that they put themselves into a hole. And you remember, I don't discuss that in this program. During anything and the way they raise anything and I say the problem here is I'm not saying make them not increase the salaries of government officials then, because it's very small. It's very small. But in economics, you get to look at the revenue, then you based on the revenue and the expenditure now they make, you determine which now the next, whether there is a need for increase. Therefore, we don't get hold of the economy first. That the first way, because when they can say they don't meet nothing. That's not supposed to be their first priority. So, okay, we don't meet nothing. The government, a huge government, then get over nearly 100,000 employees. Then, if you consider all them people, then you understand. So, we don't meet nothing. What you get for do? Let us stabilize the economy. Then, when we stabilize the economy, then we start this increment of salaries from their sectors. They are small. But as the council no more than do that, that's fine. But at the end of the day, they expect naturally for say, you get a reaction from other people there, because everybody wants an increment. Look, 600,000 leons a month for a teacher. We get there 4 or 5 picking them. Now you owes, you only get 600,000. It's very small. So if you don't see them, then they for react back.
Okay, Makota, yes, of course. I mean, their problem here. Now, we just look at and say, SLPP currently, where they experience them problem, they are just a victim of the circumstance. Now that we will say, because most of them problem here, not a problem that will be say, not a thing that will be say like the previous government, they will be done to operate, they be done to put modalities in place, the SLPP don't come, everything don't come back from back to walls or to stand still, you know, able to move. The previous government, they not be done, they really address it yet. So when you say don't come, you just start like picking, you don't come from a family. You think when you can't meet you, papa not doing it, or you predecessors they not doing, then you don't reach now. The system they require that say this will be you pick it don't awareness don't they you pick it don't they understand about human rights and so forth. Then go the force for a lot of things there for make you be able to do for them. When you not can meet the foundation, you go facing them problem then they. But just like when you measure the NTR say now then we don't put them into hold. You believe say Makota if SLPP not for don't do evident here that for don't avoid them problem yeah? If for still for don't come up,
yeah, I agree with you.
Whether they for don't make voting from consolidated fund, then action I go most time for come pop up. Then go bring and come up.
I agree with you. I agree with you totally. I was just saying because then pronounce say there is no money. Then people then begin demand for salary increase, not because they expect say probably the government will get money way than they would call it, but it is an advantage way than they take, and if now you say if they take that advantage. So now we go to
everybody.
Yeah, now we go to the Americano. What now you take?
Well, Mankota, the thing is you make it 20. SLPP then put themselves in a situation where kind of critical somehow. The motive for improve the education I mean, that in a very big motive way, if it is successful, it's fine for the country. But the thing is, in the process, the parliamentarians with legislature, they want increase.
Yeah.
They want increment on the salary, and a big time they begin ask for that thing they wouldn't have been get before.
Yeah.
The teachers then they listen, the soldier man then they listen, the policeman then they listen, all the other sectors of government workers then they listen. Now if they go give the lawmakers them as much as an increment where they don't get, what do you expect will happen to the other professions them where they now the government, doctors, nurses, and so on.
Then go ask.
This is not something we go continue. It's an ongoing problem. Not all the teachers they no more.
Oh yeah.
We go get 40 more of them here. They pop up.
Yeah.
Because they are all now government workers. And if it go well for the legislative body, then it go well for the teachers. Then the nurses, the doctors, then go say, hey, go, we get for do something. No.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So then they nothing the way the SLVP government get for prepare for tackle. You see?
That's exactly my point. That's now the point why they try for talk about, you know, because we know say when you do them in a society like Sierra Leone where everybody is hungry for money. If a parliamentarian they request for $150,000, well, me they request for just 10 million leones, which is reasonable compared to the parliamentarian. Because look, 600,000 is just too much for too little for them people. But anyway, let me go to Mr. Cabo. Mr. Cabo, I know say you can't listen, but I believe say you don't understand the discussion. What would they discuss about the salaries and the strike, the way they go on? Go ahead. Mr. Cabo, you did? Let me see.
Sometimes sleep.
You did?
And the same thing happened with me. Sometimes I feel in a eye.
Yeah, I've been very way be the way them class. See this guy dip and sleep. Okay, Mr. Cabo, anytime just
I don't sleep.
Okay. All right. What's now you take?
What you do now? Me say Mr. Cabo they sleep at this time.
I don't know. Ask them back for me. I drive and I try for switch over. In fact, I don't know the road. I drive. I try for switch over.
Okay. Now, Mr. Cabo, I defend you. No worry, I defend you.
The car be involved for accident, so now I go fix. So I test drive them.
Okay.
Now I listen to and the sound, and I do on the road.
Okay.
So what's that question again?
The question is, what are your take on this teachers' demands for say they need increments or else then they go on strike because the doctors then don't go on strike already. The nurses then probably then they go back on strike and more people there. So that the implication on this on the government, because the government we all know say money no day, you know, we get for be reasonable enough money no day, but the fact that the non-begin starts then it get for continue. What are your take?
Okay, all right. Let me ask you: does the increment where the parliamentarian they ask they don't meet to that demand?
No. Then cancel them because of the outcry from the public or say that's unreasonable. So then cancel that one day. They suspend them. They're not canceling. I suspend them.
All right. That's fine. One thing I will say, I want to give kudos to the teachers in Sierra Leone because we all are teachers at one point in time. You know, we all come from the teaching field and we still get the teacher certificate that we understand the strengths that we Sierra Leone teachers and especially, being a teacher in Sierra Leone, how difficult it is under this corrupt system. It's not that they were neglected, it's just that the system is not working properly based on the past administrations we have. And all I will assure the teachers is that the situation will change, and if they have the right to strike, that's democracy, and they have the right to voice their opinion and make their demands.
just like the parliamentarians did. The only fear I have is they might not get what they want exactly, but consideration will be made. The government will sit and look into situations and be reasonable enough. We know we cannot pay teachers. That always goes to saying the teachers are looking for blessing. They cannot be paid, and so on and so forth. Yes, but yet still we have to work with them based on the situation on the ground. The country is very difficult. Things are very difficult. Monies are not valued, and they have to take care of their family. And they are human beings. And, it's not that teachers, I just don't know what is the situation with the profession itself. It's not only in Africa, all over the world, teachers are not paid. But they produces the president, the ministers, the honorables, they produces the doctors, they produces everything you can think of, but they are not paid. And that's a universal situation. But we will not say because it happens in the whole world and Sierra Leone will not give a consideration to that. No, Sierra Leone is going to give a consideration to that. But all I will say is it's little too soon because I believe there are plans for the Ministry of Education, especially for the free quality education, which of course they supported, and I congratulated them for being patient and to keep the patient also.